Okay, hello all you crazy people out there. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games. Last time we did a pause menu. That was quite fun. I like UI stuff. At least, I like the parts of UI stuff that don't involve making it scale to the window resolution. That's awful. Anyway, last time we implemented a rudimentary pause state. Next time we'll be getting to some other things inside the pause state. Quit game. I guess we could do that first, knock that one off. It's not gonna, this isn't gonna be its complete this isn't going to be how it works in the end, but on click is going to be equal to a function. We can just say game, and later on this will obviously lead to a little bit more. Would you like to quit the game? Yes, no, back to title, something like that. But now, clicking the quit game button quits the game, as the name suggests that it should. All right. Anyway, so. Am I actually getting things done quickly here? What is this? What I want to do today is make the restart button actually restart the game. And then back to the main menu. Alright, I guess I will give the quit game button a little bit more attention in some way or another. At least as far as making it pop up the message box that I mentioned the first time. Win, lose. This is going to be another pause state, basically, when you reach the end of a level, that's going to pop up, and that's going to have its own set of buttons. I will not implement all of the functionality yet. There is some stuff that depends on more of the game being like existing, such as next level on the win screen and a back to title. This one here, back to menu, which will depend on having a main menu, but I hope to get as much of that done as possible. So, let's see. UI... duplicate layer, UI, UI, would you like to quit? That's going to be a simple prompt. Would... I have a feeling that is going to take up more than one line. So we'll put a line break in the middle of that. There's going to be yes, quit to title, and quit to desktop. Rather no. And quit to title can be that, and oops. Quit to desktop can be that. This is going to be the one that actually quits the title, quits the desktop rather. These other two are going to be doing some other things. So let me first move that down a little bit just to align it a little bit nicer. What about... oh yes, because the grid is snapping to a size of 32 instead of 16. To actually make it easier for different like submenus to show up, I'm going to take another leaf out of what I did for Bombadier, and that is going to be pause screen can just be UI underscore pause. And then in the draw GUI event, if is paused, self.ui.render. Instead of hard coding that string, that can be self. The current pause screen. At the moment, that will do exactly the same thing as we had before. Nothing happens. Quit game is still attached to game end. But this will allow us to swap in and out different pause screens. So every time you hit the pause game, method. That is going to need to set the pause screen to like the root of the pause menu just by default, regardless of what it was set to before. But some of these other menus, for example, the original quit button, and now that I've... Really? Can I make the grid stay on... Can I make the grid stay on 16 by 16, please? We can, instead of going to game end here, game controller.pause state is going to equal UI pause screen. pause screen is going to equal UI underscore, and I'm not going to type that out because I'm not going to spell it right, and then that's going to be getting under my skin. So we're linking some menus together. No, I would not like to quit the game actually button is going to be doing something similar. That is going to be setting the pause screen back to UI underscore pause. And let's see. Would you like to quit the game? No. Would you like to quit the game to desktop? Alright, that's great. So this can be a commit. You know what I need to do? 0.11 before I make another commit. Forgot to do that last time. Menu for quitting the game. I guess if you really wanted to, you could separate that into like the pause screen commit and the quit game menu commit, but no big deal. We're gonna have something similar for resume. Let me duplicate this layer. This is gonna be, would you like to restart? Let me take that. Let me go into the restart level button. And when you click the restart, you're going to see a similar prompt for would you like to restart the game. And this is going to just be a yes, no. We do not need 3 buttons for this, and I think since yes and no in pretty much all languages are fairly short words, I should be able to get away with just having a couple of buttons here that are like next to each other instead of stacked on top of each other. The text, would you like to restart the level? This is going to... Why are you rotated by 1/10 of a degree? I do not recall doing that. You're going to be yes. We will get to your code that will restart the level soon enough. And you are going to be no. And your on click is going to be serving as the back button. Like that. Okay, now we just got to align all of these. I have this weird feeling that you're also rotated by like, okay, you're not. Let's just align this somewhat to the middle of the screen. And okay. There were a couple menus. Restart is going to... That looks good, I think. Yeah. Is it? I'm going to move it one cell up. Like that. In Bombadier, there were, I think, a couple menus that were misaligned that people pointed out to me, and I just, like, totally didn't notice. Alright. I don't want to accidentally have, like, the yes-no on exactly the same... like the same vertical scan line as the restart button, because then like if you click over here you could accidentally click yes without meaning to if you accidentally double click. Same thing for like quit the game. I probably really should not have quit to desktop be on the same vertical alignment as the button itself. So I think when it comes to this, menu, I'm just going to shuffle those around so that your mouse cursor does not default over the position of quit to desktop. So we can say quit, and then you'll default over no, which is by far the safest option as far as clicking accidentally goes. Okay. Let's see, I can go back to over here. Pause state, restart, yes, no. Pause state, back to menu. It's kind of been implemented. I'll probably leave a bunch of these items in the like in progress category and then knock them all off at once everything gets tied together. But that's okay. Anyway, I did say that restarting the game would be my next task. Let's go into the game controller. Let's make a method called restart level. I believe that's going to be a matter of with entity instance destroy, so destroy all entities including the player with bullet. Hang on. It's high time I did this, but for the sake of making inheritance a little bit easier, that should be a regular colon. For the sake of making inheritance a little bit easier, let me make an object and just call this level object. I love the bug in Game Maker where if you create a resource and if you type the letter O in its name when you're giving it a name, you open the file explorer. I think that's been fixed in more recent versions. I am using 2.3.7 at the current moment. I vaguely remember previously I was using one of the betas to do this game, but I'm on 2.3.7 because for the most part it's pretty stable and it like hasn't broken any of my current projects, and I haven't had the time to update and see if anything breaks. But let's see, level object, you do not need to be visible. I am just going to parent, if I go into the inheritance section, I'm going to parent the bullet, the base entity class, and the base pickup class. And nothing else is going to happen except that we're going to be able to say with level object instance destroy here. And then room restart should be safe to use. There shouldn't be anything floating around that doesn't have to be. In the room start event, like what is it? Like the UI will be set. This should probably go in the create event, honestly. But I'll get to that. I'll get to that soon enough. There is a DS list. I should change this to an array instead of a DS list at some point. I'll do that next. That'll be a minor thing. And then this can also go in the create event. Anyway, I'm gonna resume. I'm gonna play a little bit. Take some damage. I'm gonna let my health go to like -5 or whatever. I'll get to like wave something. And if I restart the game now, nothing's gonna happen because I haven't actually called that code. Good job. Creation code on game controller dot restart level. Now it's gonna do something. For a moment I thought the game froze when I clicked it, and I was like, oh no, have I done like a recursive delete or something like that? But no, we just have nothing actually happening because there is no... Let's see. I'll get to the next wave. There was no, I should say. I died, apparently. I have -3 health. Yeah, okay. Everything's been reset properly, it looks like. So... that's restart level. I'm gonna go take the UI manager and I'm gonna just stick this in the create event. The room should still exist. I've been generally using the create event for like initialization instead of room start because I frequently only use like one room in the entire game. Case in point, Bombardier. But more importantly, we won't have to like collect and process all the UI every time you start a level. Also, I did say I want elements to be an array instead of a DS list. That's mostly easy enough. I just have to look for every instance of said array, and instead of treating like a DS list with the list accessor and whatnot, and with DS list add, we can use array push. Okay. And the game should otherwise work exactly as it did before. A little bit of refactoring. Never hurt anybody. Alright, so if we restart from here, everything should still behave the same. Good. Let me actually make that multiple commits. I want to say that original like UI code like dates back to before GameMaker really started pushing for lists and maps to be obsolete in favor of structures and arrays. Although I'm not entirely sure. I think that was done pretty early on. Since I will be using more than one room in this game, I'm going to probably put all of the like the menu stuff, the menu things in either an initialization room or a title screen room, and make the objects persist between rooms. And then the UI stuff won't exist in any of the individual level rooms. We'll see though. But let's see, pause state. We can check that one off. Good fun. Pause state, back to menu. I said I'd hold off on that. That is like 50% of the quit game button. Win-lose, similar to pause menu. Win-lose, win-lose. I need to actually make something happen when you die, don't I? Okay, I just closed the, So let me duplicate the pause menu again. I wish we could duplicate layers with Control-D instead of, having to right-click. UI win. That's about as inspired of a name as I've got. The win screen is going to have, let's just say some text that say level clear. I almost typed just you win, but I decided that I don't really like that, the way it sounds. We can do next level and back to menu. Having something like quit and restart doesn't really make sense, at least not in the context of a like a win screen. I want to say I need to move them down one more. And let's see. I don't think when you duplicate a layer, instance creation code gets carried over, but I'm just going to make sure. All right, it does not. And then lose is going to be pretty much the same thing, except insteed of saying next level, it'll be try again or something like that. So let's duplicate this once again. UI underscore lose. And this can be you died. Giant screaming all caps times New Roman. Next level will be restart, and I think all right. Show win screen, show lose screen. The easy way to do this would be to treat it as just another pause screen, so you could pause the game and then set the pause screen to UI underscore lose or UI underscore win or whatever the case would be, but I kind of want anything that's already there to continue updating, like the background when we get to that in the future and the player controller. It's not like there's going to be any enemies left when you win, and when you lose, the player will kind of be destroyed anyway. I'll add another game state. This can be game states playing, paused, end of level, and title. And then I'll add another similar variable, end of level screen, can be UI underscore win by default. When you show the win screen, we are obviously going to set that to UI underscore win. And when you show the lose screen, we're going to do not that. The game state is going to be set to... Oh, you know what? this will be treated like a pause state as far as like things updating and the player is concerned. We'll initialize this to an empty string. We'll also, in room start, initialize this to an empty string. And then in draw GUI, if this is not an empty string, then we will render that UI. This is not invoked anywhere currently. Victory should be done in here. The levels update if you get to the end of the waves and there are no more foes on the screen. Let's see, game controller.show win screen. Losing will be handled in the player. The player has an on death, right? Check death die. All right. We will go uncomment the instance destroy and game controller.show lose screen like that. All right. So we should have something that resembles a game loop. So I'm gonna die first because that's probably the easiest one to trigger. 4, 3. The iframes make this take a little bit longer. And okay, so this is past self. Why did you do this? This assumes the player exists when the UI is drawn. Oh, past self, why must you do things like this that make my life so much more difficult? Alright, so let me just quickly... That's going to be the level name. This is going to be the wave. The other option is to, instead of destroying the player, like basically turning them off. Like this. Is there a draw event? There's also a draw event. That way the player always exists in the room, at least in the level rooms. I don't know. I feel like I should do both. I'm gonna regret closing that room editor in a minute, aren't I? I feel like I should do both because that would be the more appropriate computer sciencey way to do it, but I don't know. I'll stick with this for now. Alright, I died. If I restart the level, nothing happens. I should probably have and I already regret closing the room editor. I should probably have implemented that. UI lose. When you hit the restart button, keep adding a colon there instead of a semicolon. Game controller dot restart level. And then back to menu will do exactly what you think it does. Alright. Another reason to test the you lose screen first is because when I hit the restart level button in the you lose screen, we'll just restart the level, but the next level button in... Alright, there we go. Looks good. The next level button in the you win screen actually doesn't do anything yet. Give me a minute, because there are now actual consequences to if I were to, like, die. Alright, so level clear. The correct screens show up. Oh man, I wasn't actually paying attention the first time. Let me just do that again real quick. When you lose, the player does disappear, right? Like, the player should disappear. Okay, good. The player disappears, but the enemies keep doing their thing. And the timer keeps ticking up and so on and so forth. I imagine I will add a safeguard for if the player like is alive, and then the timer can keep going, but the next wave won't spawn. All right, first player. I'll change active to alive because that's what this is going to end up being used for. If not self.alive, return. I'm going to use that variable there. And if ent player.alive and all these other things, then we're actually gonna run the game. And I'll also do that in front of like, oh no, that's never mind. I'm thinking like what happens if the player dies but they still have bullets on the screen, and then after they die one of those bullets goes and finishes off an enemy, but that's really kind of inconsequential, probably. If it ends up looking bad, I'll go back and change it later, but since your score after you die kind of doesn't matter anyway. All right, anyway. Win and lose screens like that. So here we can go to, this is, I actually knocked all these off quite a bit, or most of them off anyway, quite a bit faster than I thought I would. Win-lose menu, that's done. All right, win-lose restart. I guess I could put a restart button on the you win screen, although, oh, you know what, I will do that. I don't do this myself, but if someone's competitive about like getting a better score in the same level, maybe they would want such a thing, so... Win is on the top, restart should be next, and then lose is on the bottom. Drag you down another 16 pixels. Instead of saying restart, I'll make that explicitly play again. And your creation code, thank you, can be on click. It's can equal function game controller dot restart level. And I'll just cut away. I'll just test this again, make sure this works. I see no reason why it shouldn't. Alright, so I almost died there by accident. Was not being super careful. Can still shoot if I really want. That's fine. Play again. Does indeed work. Okay. There should probably be like a high score, now that I'm thinking about it. A high score label on here somewhere. I'll just do that real quick. So first commit. First I'll commit that, and then there should be a text label. Which one is the score on the gameplay UI? Game score is this one, so I'll put high score underneath it. Which one was that? I lost it already. Score and score multiplier. All right. Why are you moving freely? Don't move freely. Oh, the grid is turned off. All right, you can be. I guess your text is evaluated on the fly, isn't it? We'll fill you in later. This can be inst game high score. I haven't been naming the other instances in the room editor for the other UI, have I? I don't think it really matters. These are the ones that might like conceivably need to be tracked by other things. All right. So I think that is going to do it for this video. I'm going to mark off 0.12 as a... Did I actually do that, or did I hit cancel? Okay, it just took a minute to update. I'm going to mark off 0.12 in source control. Win, lose, back to menu, win, lose, next level. Yeah, the rest of these I'm going to need to hold off on until I've actually got a main menu. All right. Oh, and there's also the matter of a settings menu. That's going to look a lot like Bombadier. I guess I'll do that next time. I was going to do the main menu next time, but... Settings menu, settings menu for window size, settings menu for full screen, settings menu for frame rate. Language, I don't think I've spoken much about that, but I do want to do multiple language things in this game. On my own, post-launch, post 1.0 for Bombadier, I have gone and added some code that will let you select a language. I hope it is, like, finished and published by the time this video goes up, because this video is going to go up in, like, May.
Hey.
But it's not that bad because there isn't a tremendous amount of text in these games, so I hope that I will be able to do that fairly painlessly. Anyway, settings, BGM. Why are player upgrades in here? Oh, were those supposed to be like a menu for permanent upgrades? That might be. Instead of power-ups. Settings, sound effect volume, master volume, game speed. I keep saying things about accessibility, but I really do not know a tremendous amount about such options, and I feel like if I were to mess it up because I don't know what I was doing, that would arguably be worse than, like, not including it at all. I might kick these cards back to, like, the backlog for later to deal with when, like, I know what I'm doing. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing next time. This is the current progress board. 33% of work items finished, 31% of points for Sprint 2 for the UI. For the project as a whole, it looks like this. About a third of the way there. My name is Michael. I like Wizards and Dragons and making games. I hope you all are enjoying this. If you want to play around with the code for this yourself, look for the GitHub repository down in the video description. Look for the 0.12 release for what we've been working on up through this week. I have a Patreon, so if you want to contribute towards these videos being made, there will be links to that in all the usual places. You can see some fun things like your name in the credits or a verbal shout-out of yourself at the end of every video. And if you wanted to pledge, I would definitely appreciate it. Otherwise, I try to post about 2 game dev videos a week, 1 of these and 1 tutorial. I like to focus on the weirder things that you can do in Game Maker. 3D stuff, shader stuff, that kind of nonsense. If any of that interests you, feel free to subscribe. I hope you all found this interesting, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Zenjamin, Then Nothing Happened, Squarecrow, Sindra Larson, Posho, Gunnar Clovis, Game Maker, Edward Holt, DJ Gibbles, and Army Armbruster for supporting these videos. If you want to see your name in the credits or hear yourself shouted out at the end like this, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.